Croatia is a dream summer vacation spot because it has over 1,000 islands, fantastic music festivals, and a spectacular rocky coast, washed by the cleanest Mediterranean seas. Located in the northwest of the Balkan Peninsula. However, its unspoiled nature, lively culture, and priceless architectural wonders can be enjoyed any time of year. How you spend your time in Croatia depends on what you like and what you're interested in. This small country on the Adriatic has everything you could want and more. Number 10. Split. Split is neither a small town nor a quiet one. Even with all of that, it still has an air of Adriatic slumber, which isn't bad for the second largest city in Croatia. Split is a natural port, so many ships come and go there. Cruise ships often stop here. Romans lived here for a while, which is why there is a palace, and they left their mark. There are columns and other landmarks around the city, and you can take a guided tour. If you want to stop and watch people for a while, there are squares and plazas on every corner. The food is a bit of a mix because the Croatians can't decide whether to keep it local or try to make it more appealing to people from other countries. Besides Dubrovnik, a lot of filming happened in and around Split for Game of Thrones fans. See if you can find Daenerys' throne room while you're traveling. Number 9. Pula. Pula is a beautiful city on the coast of the Adriatic Sea in Croatia. It is at the tip of the Istrian Peninsula. On the one hand, you can feel the Croatian influence, but on the other hand, it's easy to see that it was actually a part of Italy until 1947. It feels very much like Venice. This is clear in the food, the people, and the culture. A huge port only adds to the melting pot feel. Signs of the empire it used to be a part of are everywhere. There is a huge theatre that will soon turn 2,000 years old. There are many boat parties, and depending on who you ask, you might be able to get into one of the many underground parties. All along the front of the city, there are beaches and coves. With warm, clear water and soft sand, you can choose to go to the beach or the city on the same day. Number 8. Vis Islands. This is a beautiful island that has been around for a long time. It is in the most northern part of the coast. It has about 4,000 people and is often called the gastronomic capital of the Adriatic. With great restaurants built in the Venetian style that serve both traditional Croatian food and food from all over Europe, you can experience the Mediterranean as it used to be. Most of the island is made up of olive groves and vineyards, so it's an excellent place for people who want to escape the busy world. Number 7. Korcula. Korcula, the 6th largest island in Croatia, is the place to go if you've been to Dubrovnik and wondered what it was like before boatloads of Game of Thrones fans and US cruise passengers turned there. Often referred to as Little Dubrovnik, this city is like a more subdued and well-dressed sibling of Dubrovnik. The island is stunning, but it doesn't get as many visitors as other popular Croatian places because it's a little too distant for the average tourist. Korcula is a long, skinny island off the coast of Croatia that features orange rooftops, winding stone streets, and the occasional medieval square, church, or palace. Korcula is the subject of some contention between Italy and Croatia. Both countries claim that the legendary explorer Marco Polo was born there. Korcula provides multiple charter trips to various places and other lovely islands in the immediate area, perfect for those who want to travel in the spirit of Marco Polo. From Split, the trip will take you about 3.5 hours, so leave early or plan to stay the night. Undoubtedly one of the most beautiful locations in all of Croatia. Number 6. Rovinj. Many residents here still speak the ancient and romantic language of Istrial, and the town is quickly developing into a major tourist destination. A cluster of pastel-colored buildings, steep twisting alleyways, and boat trips to nearby islands have made it one of the most photogenic places in the Mediterranean for decades. St. Euphremia's Basilica and Zultani Forest Park are among the most well-known attractions in the area. Number 5. Hvar. Hvar is known as the Queen of Dalmatia. Most people agree that it is the greenest and sunniest of all the islands off the coast of Croatia. Large fields of lavender, lush olive groves, and winding vineyards make up the island's scenery. Hvar town is the cultural center of the island. Its many sandy beaches and cosmopolitan cafes, bars, and restaurants have made it an essential stop for yachting trendsetters. Number 4. Dalmatian Coast. The Dalmatian Coast is famous, and for a good reason. It is one of the most dramatic and beautiful parts of Europe's coastline. The coast goes on for hundreds of miles, with steep limestone cliffs and islands. Dalmatia was once a part of the Venetian Empire. Its Roman ruins, architecture from the Middle Ages, and dramatic scenery are known. The best way to see many of Croatia's sights is to drive along this coast. You'll see cliffs that will make you gasp, and the road will take you to great places like Split and Zadar. Split is a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its beautiful architecture and historical complex, which includes the Palace of Diocletian. Zadar has picture-perfect beaches, so make sure to stop along the way. Number 3. Cavtat. You can reach Cavtat from Dubrovnik Airport in around 15 minutes by car. Accommodation in Cavtat is substantially cheaper than in Dubrovnik. If you are trying to save a bit of cash but still want to say you visited Dubrovnik, stay here and get one of the frequent buses into the old town. There is a reasonably steep hill leading down to the quayside. Still, if you imbibe heavily at one of the restaurants, you won't remember the climb. A wide variety of eateries suit any budget, and the westward orientation makes for a beautiful sunset viewing experience. The little harbour comes alive at night when the many pubs and clubs attract attractive young people. It's entertaining to see the superb diners from the bow, as they are not much different from you except that they've paid more to see you. During the day, you can stroll along the road that circles the peninsula to the north of town, find a secluded area, and swim off the rocks or the man-made concrete pontoon that runs halfway around the peninsula. Number 2. Dubrovnik. The most famous and best place to visit in Croatia is Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik is also on the coast, but it is worth bringing up on its own. It was once a wealthy and powerful state known as the Pearl of the Adriatic. Today, it's almost like a living museum. It looks like it's from the Middle Ages and has many Baroque churches and marble streets where people can walk. When you go to Croatia, you must spend some time in Dubrovnik. It's a stylish and beautiful place to visit. It's full of relaxed cafes, classy bars, and excellent restaurants. It also has a lot of cultural history, beautiful architecture, an old town, and the famous 2-kilometer walk around the famous city walls. If you like Game of Thrones, this is where many of the King's Landing scenes were shot. It's a double-edged sword because many locals complain about how many more tourists this has brought, and how it can get a little too crowded sometimes. Number 1. Volosko. Volosko is tucked away in the top corner of Croatia. It has a rustic charm that can't be beaten. It is far from the most popular tourist spots in Croatia. It isn't a busy resort, so it still has the quiet, sleepy atmosphere of a traditional Croatian fishing village. With a slope of orange roofs that go all the way down to the harbour and the occasional pointing conifer, it's the perfect place to spend an afternoon. Even though there isn't much to do, that's why you came, right? After you've looked at the local art and walked around the shops, you can go to one of the many bars that line the seafront. As a working fishing village, a lot of fresh seafood is available. Try some locally caught fish with a glass of excellent, crisp white wine. If you want to walk around, there are a lot of steps because of the land, so wear something comfortable. Definitely one of the most beautiful and peaceful places in Croatia to visit.